I don't know where you want to start, but there's plenty of things that we can get to. We can also
Just
not get
introduce
to all of those
ourselves
things.
first.
We can, whatever. I mean,
Do you want to just
You know what I mean?
let's do the introduction, get into it, man.
welcome everybody to the Kiona and Kasson podcast. I am your host Adam. I'm here with my brother Osama. Dave took a small break today. He has issues with the vehicle.
Dave took PTO.
We're gonna pray for his car, Betty. Oh, that's his wishes.
His transportation this way.
Yeah.
But Dave took PTO.
Hard to get here when your car doesn't allow you to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those four wheels need something to drive them.
This is episode number 148 of the Kiona and Kasson podcast.
We getting up there, boy.
We'll be I mean, another week, another number. You know how it goes. But we'll be at 150 soon.
Different pod.
We'll be at 150 soon, even though we probably if things were able to go, if the world didn't come down with the illness at the same time, then we'd be able to be far past that and probably approaching 200 at this point.
Yo, it's hilarious because that's true, but I guess that you just reminded me right away about the CDC. It's literally almost like that thing never existed. Almost like COVID was never a thing. They're
but people are still getting it, and people are still dying from it regularly.
Yeah,
they just stopped reporting on it because monkeypox became a thing.
Well, no, they basically said that you don't even need to unless you got symptoms. Nobody needs to test. They said no quarantine required.
I don't know why they're telling people that. There's already mad people who took that approach, and it
didn't work out well.
And it's not working out at all.
I don't know, man. If that's the case, fuck it. I'm just, I don't know.
Listen, already the reason why I left my house rarely, as the pandemic kind of came into swing. But I have this respiratory thing, and I'm not trying to go out there and
No, I don't blame you. You gotta watch yourself a little bit more in that regard. You know.
Man, death's waiting around the corner.
But back to happier
I ain't scared.
topics.
I got a carbon 15 and I'm fully prepared.
Back to happier topics. The fact that we are at 148, we will be at 150, and 200 is something that we intend to get to. So if you rock with us, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
If you've
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, thank you.
But thank us too.
The 294.
Like Snoop Dogg say, I'd like to thank me.
Well, yeah, we should also thank us. We should be be proud of the fact that we've continued to do something a little bit more consistent.
Hell yeah.
Than some we're able to do. Some podcasts out there aren't necessarily the most consistent.
Listen, man,
I like to believe that we try to be as consistent as possible for our audience.
When the podcast explosion started, I think a lot of people looked at it as maybe a get rich quick thing, and that's not how we started it. It wasn't the intent behind it.
So
it's a nice cherry on top, but it's not
there's no what cherry on top. We don't get if it's ice cream. We just got the ice cream. If this is an ice cream sundae,
my point is
the cherry on top hasn't begun
If it explodes and you get that, that's great, right? But it's
what?
If the podcast
if the podcast explodes. I was like, wait, what are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't talking about anything besides podcast.
Okay, well, I mean, I was just trying to if it explodes, I was like...
Yes. If the podcast was to blow up and we start making all kinds of money, that's great. But we didn't start it with the intent of...
Yeah, I'm going to see this guy regardless. So Sundays we're going to podcast. Yeah. But I think we do try to remain consistent in our tenacity.
Well, the point was, a lot of people quit after 30 episodes because they're like, oh,
it's hard. I think it's harder than people realize it is.
Yeah, I got it's not just coming here talking. You got to be entertaining, and
I got asked yesterday at a block party, right? Which there's going to be multiple stories from this block party that you're going to hear. But this specific, these two of Vivi's friends were like, how do we start a podcast? And I never really know how to tell them other than just start it, right? But
it's literally how you do it.
But people I want to talk, and I guess, but even at 148 episodes, I got to be honest, I still feel like there's so much more for me, so much more improvement I can make upon my ability to pod, right?
Well, listen, it's just what's his face's contract in NFL. Got to watch some game tape, and then when you look at what you do and you look at the mannerisms and shit, and then you can only improve.
Mannerisms?
Yeah,
it's mannerisms.
I think you always think of these things and you're always wrong.
No, it's mannerisms?
Yeah.
No, that's not mannerisms. Mannerisms.
All right, we'll look it up right then. Okay. How are you going to look it up? Okay, how do you pronounce this word? Anyways.
It's mannerisms.
It's EU.
No, that's maneuverisms.
Oh, man. Yeah, you just got to you got to know where you're at to know where you're going type of thing, right? So you can't improve on things that you don't quite know. Great.
Mannerism. That's the Google search. Everything is mannerism. It's not mannerism. Where'd you go to school?
You know that all the time that you do that.
Mannerisms,
You know, every time you do that to me, you're wrong.
No, but that's
like
right.
every single time.
That was right though.
Like almost every single
But
time.
this was
just
right.
because that's how it's spelled. You know how the English language
That's
works.
because how it's spelled.
We put silent letters in the middle of our shit. But the fucking spelling means nothing.
There's no silent letter in
It's not important. The point is, you look at what you're doing and you improve upon it based on what you see. You know, that's the point.
No, you're right, and I think that's also right. So all the things go,
Like anything
all of
in
these,
life.
and we're not. I don't know why we're trying to preach podcast stuff to you guys, but I think
we don't
that,
want you to start one. We don't need competition.
Consistency, right? Being consistent. Is only going to make you get better if you're doing what you're saying.
I mean, we've told the story.
They're hand in hand.
When we first started, we literally just used a phone to record, and we didn't even put that episode out.
Yeah, that was bad.
You got to learn. You got to go through some difficulties, and
Yeah.
you got to revise, and you got to come back with some shit.
So
And-
yeah, we're sorry we preach it so often that but I feel like it's something to be spoken about because
I mean, it's an ongoing conversation. When you're having a pod, it's always an ongoing conversation.
yeah.
It's just how it is. You gotta, figure things out and adjust. And if you look at, again, if you go to episode 1, you see a big difference. You go to episode 50, you see a difference.
As anything else in the world, the more you do it, the better you should get at it. If
not, then you're doing something wrong.
If it's something that you love, right? That's the key to this whole thing is you enjoy doing this, and regardless of what comes from it, it's just an enjoyable experience. You like getting better at something, learning how to do things, editing and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that being said,
Talking is a skill,
That being said,
Yeah, there's plenty of things to get to.
yeah. Well, what about the first thing? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing all right,
How you doing, guy?
I'm still in the process of figuring out my respiratory situation. So, on Friday before work, I had an appointment to go and get like what do they call it? A pulmonary function test.
Oh, shit.
So they put you in a booth. That's how Pops, I was telling him about it. He's like, that's the test where they like put you in like a booth. So basically they put you in a booth that's like extraordinarily uncomfortable. Like picture like the worst hard bench seat you've ever sat on, right? And then it just feels like you're just like in a futuristic box after that. So there's like a fucking mechanism that comes down or you breathe into. They put like a mouthpiece on it because obviously sanitation is important. And the lady like directs you how to breathe, essentially, like how big of a breath to take in. Then like she's like, all right, you're gonna take a deep breath, and then you're gonna blow out as hard as you can, and then like you keep blowing until I tell you, take another breath, right? And so she's like, all right, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, keep pushing. I'm not having a baby right now. There's literally nothing left in my lungs. I cannot keep blowing out. It's impossible. But you have to do it like to a certain degree within like a certain, range in order to get an accurate reading. You have to, you know what I mean? So like if you don't do it right the first time, you got to do it again. You got to do it again. So it's like 40 minutes of like just the worst torture of breathing of all time.
Oh,
and then she can like shut the valve off. So when you're in the middle of exhaling, like you could just have nothing. Like it's such a fucked up situation.
Yo, the older you get and the more you deal with some of these scans and stuff. It's interesting to go through them because they're like you really feel like a science project. If you know what I mean, like. Continue that, but that's how that sounds like. You're like, all right, let's see how long can man blow in booth? Pause.
It wasn't loud enough the first time. I got to keep it.
Yeah, you got to get that level a little higher on that one.
But yeah, no, I mean it's literally like, so they just put you through all kinds of breathing torture, and I'm like, you realize I already can't breathe, which is why I'm here. So like, I don't know what you want from me
like,
here.
we
but
already know that.
There's only so much I can give you.
Trying to see how you can help me with that.
So then after like you finish their step-by-step process in this machine, they give you like another one, which is and I'm sitting here like, oh yeah, it's good. And she's like, oh yeah, one more test. I'm like, fuck. So it's like basically an iPad that has another breathing mechanism attached to it. It's not necessarily an iPad, but it's like a fucking tablet.
It's a tablet with something you blow into.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. But like it's an extension, the piece that you blow into, and it's like a weird mini game, right? Where like you breathe in through the thing.
Is it like
and it like makes the sun?
What is the tablet? The tablet saying this to you? Like
no, it's literally just a picture. She's giving me the direction.
Okay.
So you inhale through the little thing that she gives you, and it like makes the sun rise, right? And then underneath it, there's like a little girl holding a balloon. It's so weird. And then there's like little parallel bars, right? And you got to keep her as you exhale. you have to exhale like a certain force.
Why does
and
it
keep
have to
her
be a
in
little
between
girl
it the
with a
entire
balloon?
time? I have no idea, but it's just
Is
what
she
it was.
floating?
Yeah.
She's floating in the
the
sky.
balloon is essentially keeping her. So when you exhale into
created
it,
this?
I don't know, some fucking weirdo.
You know what we should have is right, like the sun, when they blow into it. So the
Have a
sun,
little girl with a balloon in there.
The sun should rise, but also there's a little. In my mind, there's a little girl there, and she's got some balloons.
It's just really weird.
And as he blows, she stays within a. Dude, that's a weird thing. How do you pitch that?
I don't know.
How do you pitch that?
So in order to keep her within like these bars, you have to exhale like a certain force, right? And you have to keep it all the way through. And if she like goes above or below one of the
She
lines,
dies?
then you have to start back from the beginning.
Does she die?
No, she just kind of falls on.
Well,
It'd be weird if they killed her.
No, it's already weird. It would be almost on brand if they killed her. It's already weird. They've decided to put a little.
And then
it could have been anything.
You're thinking about 7 a.m., right?
It could have been a bird. It could have been a bird.
At 7 a.m. doing this, it just adds an extra element of weird, right? But like, okay, when I first got there, I was about to be pissed off because there was nobody there at first, right? I got to this building. Luckily, it's like 5 minutes from my house, but I got up earlier for this and I start work. I was like, what the fuck? So I got there and there's like nobody in the building. There's like some janitor walking around and I'm like, yo, do you know when these people open their doors? And she's like, yeah, I don't know. If they have like an answering service, like call them. I'm like, oh, thanks for help.
They moved out like a month ago.
I still set it on the door, the name of the building. So
that doesn't mean they didn't move out.
So I called the answering service.
Never removed my name from where I lived. I think they did it themselves.
Well, probably off the mailbox.
Yes.
So I called the answering service.
Wait, guys, I gotta remove.
And the guy's like,
the mailbox.
The guy's like, yeah, I don't know the hours based on like the location. I'm like, well, why do you exist? Like nobody else is open, so you're the only person answering the phone. Why do you know nothing? Like this is not helpful. So fucking, I think the appointment was like 7:20, and I think at like 7:10, there's still nobody there. And I'm like knocking on the door and shit, trying to see if maybe somebody came in the other entrance or some shit. Then finally, at like 7:15, she comes to open the door and didn't see that I was out there, and I'm like,
I just woke up.
Like scared the shit out of her. She's like, oh, Adam, and I was like, fuck, you know who I am? She's like, yeah,
We've been
you're the only
waiting
appointment
for you,
this.
Adam.
Apparently, I'm the only appointment at 7:20. So, got in there, took care of all that shit, and then she's like, yeah, I'll let you know, like, when you have the appointment with the doc on Monday, then we'll go through the results. I'm like, so I did all that, and you're gonna tell me nothing now?
I don't even want to see you guys. That's the worst. Is like getting the scan and then having the wait. You know, you're like, this is.
It's not my favorite thing, you know.
But you were a science project essentially, and it took part in some weird experiment with little girls with balloons.
That was the weirdest part about it. I wasn't comfortable with it.
Why it wasn't.
I was like, can you change the avatar to like something else?
Why couldn't it have been a bird?
Birds fly. That's true.
Why wouldn't you just put a bird in the sky?
They don't need a balloon to like hold them up.
Who is this man? Like, I think we should put a little girl there. You know, we could put anything else. Yeah, but it should be a little girl with balloons.
It was really weird. I don't know. Maybe it was like initially developed for kids to have this test, and they were like, "Oh, this like keep it for."
I don't know if that even makes it any better. Honestly,
I think it does. It's better than a grown man trying to do this.
To be truthful,
it's just really weird to me. I don't know.
So,
but bottom line, I got no results yet. So,
so that story went pretty much nowhere.
So for like the last month, this has been an issue has been documented on the pod, and it's better a little bit now these days. Like I've been on some acid reflux meds to kind of keep it in check, and for some weird reason they're affiliated, and it seems to be doing some good.
No, what I'm understanding is like there's so much connection, so many things you would think is something else is usually attributed to like acid reflux.
It's like that song that you learned in science class as a kid. Whatever bone is connected to the other bone, and so on.
That's a science song.
Yeah, of course.
I just thought it.
Biology.
I don't remember
anatomy.
Singing it. I don't remember singing it in science. I remember like just singing it in general. I think it's just like general knowledge. I don't know if that's science.
I think it is.
At what point do you?
In what other field do you need to know?
That?
Yeah.
That your hip bone is connected to your. Who? Everybody.
Do you even remember which bones are connected to what?
Yeah, but I don't, listen. All I'm saying is
because I don't.
But at what point do you have to say, all right, should just be common knowledge, and then this is science, or this is?
But it's not common knowledge. I don't think it needs.
Everybody knows where their hip and their femur and everybody knows where these bones are connected.
But do you know what? Does everybody know what they're called? And I'm just saying, it's like anatomy. and anatomy is a version of science, and this is why it would be underneath that.
But I don't think that this is a song that this is something that you should know.
This is such an irrelevant conversation.
You should know this.
Yeah, obviously, if you look at your arm, you can tell that both parts of your arm are connected in the middle from where your elbow's at, and there's a joint there.
Yeah, but
what the fuck?
You should know
you don't need a song for it.
I just don't think it's something that should be science specific. I mean, yes, anatomy is science, but I feel like anatomy is more like, here is my
I'm just
insides.
saying,
like,
whoever was
here's
developing
where my liver and my kidneys are.
Whoever was developing mathematical equations did not name the bones. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess that's true. I don't know. So, yeah, so you get your results, and hopefully everything's cool, man. And, we'll...
and hopefully I can be back to breathing like a normal person after all that.
I get it. Sometimes, I like with my acid reflux, sometimes I'm like, oh, man, am I short of breath? I think that's a normal thing, but everybody just is kind of like, that hurt, but probably okay. Like,
it's not so much that, because it doesn't hurt me.
I think it's so common for men to be like, well, that's a pain that probably isn't normal, but I'm going to just say it's normal to me, and I'll just keep going and living my life.
It's my whole issue with becoming older,
Normalizing.
Like, things hurt that didn't hurt before.
Just got to normalize going to the doctor.
Yeah.
Which, I think that's important. I'm trying to do that even more so now. Like, they always say what's preventative is better than fucking, trying to treat. And that's important,
Yeah.
So, in that same vein, I don't know if I could have prevented anything that happened yesterday with my ankle, but I'm pretty sure that I could have been a little bit more cautious.
So as you get older, you get like worse at walking?
No. Okay. All right. So for those who don't know, I gave Adam a little bit of it. Yesterday, Vivi had her sister's twins' birthday party. It happened to coincide on the same day as her mom's block party. Cheap ass birthday.
Wait. Explain that. Her sister's twins? Like the kids are the twins, no?
Well, what else would you have thought?
Well, you said her sister's twins. It just, like...
like her sister and other twins?
Yeah. Like,
so why would it be their birthday and not hers if they're twins?
I don't know, man.
Listen, man.
I'm just saying it was
her
worded
twin
weird,
children. The children that are hers that are twins.
Her nieces' birthdays?
Huh?
Her nieces?
Yeah, that's true, but they're twins. I just felt like saying that. Anyway, so they were able to throw their birthday party during the block party. Mad cheap birthday party, if you ask me, right? You just eat, you have cake, and kids are running around for free. They had like bouncy houses and shit, which I'm always tempted to get into.
You can only go in there as an adult when you're the only one in there.
I don't even think that's okay.
Otherwise, it's just going to pop. Like,
I feel like at 200 pounds, I don't know that it's even meant for one of me to be in there.
I think you could do it.
I want to try it.
It depends. I mean, I think there's levels to that bouncy house shit.
Yeah, there's definitely bigger bouncy houses. But I always look at them like, I would like to get in you. Just a little bit. You got to turn that up. Which one was it?
The one that says rim shot on there?
I can't read that. Yeah, it's got to be a little higher for them to hear the...
I mean, they can hear it,
Oh, okay. Maybe it's because my headphones aren't... I got to get some new headphones for this shit.
Probably couldn't hurt.
But I do always want to get in the bouncy house. So yesterday, we're getting ready, and I swear, in my head, back and forth for like 30 minutes. It's like, do I wear shoes or do I wear sandals, right? Some slides. Honestly, I was like, I don't feel like it. Like, I don't want to wear shoes right now. And generally speaking, I don't mind having
You just turned on half the audience.
Oh, fuck it. Anyway, fuck it. So I eventually side with the idea of wearing just sandals.
Word.
After yesterday, I've decided that I'm going to put them in the closet until it's time to go on vacation or go by the beach. All right? That's what I've decided.
So sandals were not a good choice.
Sandals weren't a good choice.
Sandals were milk in the heat.
As milk was not a good choice for Anchorman on that hot, hot summer day in San Diego. It's so hot. Milk was a bad choice.
Milk in the heat. It's pretty disgusting.
So we get there. I'm cool, kicking it, calm, cool, collective.
Right.
You know what I mean? Chilling. My normal self.
Cooling, bowling, as it were.
Yeah, none of that. So as it were. So I'm there, kicking it, man, chilling. And so obviously, block party. If you're not familiar with a block party, well,
it's a party that occurs on blocks.
What the fuck is wrong with you? But like, yeah,
it's in the name.
I know they have block parties other places, in the U.S. and whatnot. But whatever.
It's just having a party that the
Yeah,
whole block is on.
if you're not familiar with it, the block shuts down, cars clear out, they barricade the sides, and the block just has a party.
In the Kasson days, we bring out basketball hoops, and then there'd be a
hoops.
fire hydrant would be open at some point.
They had two hoops out there. They didn't have the fire hydrant
Like
open.
this was ordained by the city. They were cool with it.
Well, yeah,
Like,
you're not supposed to
The fire
open
department would come through and they'd let you get on the thing.
True.
And
They
shit
would
like
open
that.
it up.
Yeah.
Certain places they just do it themselves. So they even had two basketball hoops. I was like, man, I would love to play. Right? Remember last time we hooped? Like,
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Still got a scuff on my shoes from that day.
so in the street is where they had the table and the barbecue pit set up, and where they were all chilling. So I'm standing on the curb. It's like an 8-inch curb at this point. Like how sometimes it fluctuates.
Yep.
And I go to step off the curb, take all my weight, place it onto my left foot, right? Because that's how you go. You take a step down.
That's how you walk,
That's how things occur. If you know science, right?
If you know how walking works, you kind of just transfer the weight.
Again,
one
is
foot
that
together.
science or more general knowledge? How to walk?
I mean, science would
We
probably be the one to explain
Right,
that.
explain it. But the idea of how walking works is generally what you should, as a human being,
It's
understand.
anatomical function.
Right? That's what I'm saying about the knee bone connected to anything. Anyway, so I take the step off, and I'm not looking down, and I know better. My job is one in which I have to walk around in
Uneven surfaces and
shrubbery and uneven surfaces, and I got to be aware of what I'm walking on. So I take a step down, and so the curb goes down about this much, and it's
a little higher than
it's
your
like an
average stair.
L. It's like an L, right? Like, and then
'cause
connected
the street kinda
and
does
then it
this.
connects to the street.
Yeah.
So that part is like another 1.5-inch drop, and then even worse than that, I'd known this, but I didn't keep it in mind. The pavement is like another 1.5 inches.
Because it's one of those curves that come and do this. And then
It's like this. The curve drops, and then the pavement's fine, except in that place, it was missing a large patch of it, about 1.5 inches more depth. So when I stepped down, my foot went like
buckled.
buckled straight. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and
it's tough.
We're familiar with all sorts of ankle sprains and rolls and whatnots.
Playing any sports, you would know.
And so I was like, oh, that sucked. That was worse than usual ones, right?
Not
in hooping.
It's like a high sprain.
Not in hooping. I'm talking about just in general,
Well, yeah, I mean,
like in walking time.
You weren't running the full speed.
Because some people are like,
jumping,
I walk around, and because of like sports and shit like that, my ankles don't always be like the tightest. So like I can, they might tweak a little.
Loose ass
easily.
ankles.
Right. So this was a little worse than those. I was like, fuck. So I'm walking. It's getting a little stiffer throughout the night. I got home. I iced it. It's pretty much it's like a low ankle, almost.
Dog is in such a bad spot where my wheels in my chair are.
almost heelish. But I iced it all morning, all night, and it feels better. It's still tight. It's gonna be a week worth of some uncomfortable
Remember
days.
the first time I sprained my shit, I thought I fucking broke it.
Oh, you always do, because it's painful as shit.
Bruised up to your fucking calf muscle and shit. Like
So obviously they both suck for different reasons. Obviously one is more debilitating, but jammed finger, like worst case jammed finger, middle finger, or a mid-grade ankle roll in a game.
Oh, I'll take the jammed finger all day.
Okay, but the reason I said those severity levels, right? The worst jam you can have, like you have a jam finger from before. Mm-hmm. Before meaning like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's the top part of the knuckle though. So
he's got a stupid top knuckle. His middle finger should.
It looks like I was like in a fight club for a while.
His middle finger should at least be like another 2 millimeters longer.
It's just for me giving a firm bird,
So, that right, which stays with you forever, or a mid grade, which would probably you'd be good by tomorrow or the next day, because remember, a jammed finger swells up. That shit is fat as hell, and it hurts.
But both
remember,
of them
you used to be able to. You can only do this because it gets so fat.
Both of them do. The only thing is, again, like you said, it's more debilitating, right? And the first time I sprained
You ain't got nothing to do for the next.
the first
2
time I
days,
sprained
3
my
days.
ankle.
Which one?
It didn't heal that fast. Like,
Oh man,
you know, I had a fucking air cast on and shit.
You did?
Like, yeah.
Oh, see, the first time I really sprained my ankles,
was all kind of fucked up.
Well, I've sprained my ankles pretty bad in general, like where they've bruised. That's the thing about this. It's not really bruising. It's not bruising, and it's
12 hours,
and it's not swelling too much.
Yeah,
which is hopefully a good sign. I think it's just a matter of I kind of just tweaked the ligaments or whatever.
Yeah. It was
but
like
yeah.
every 6 months there's like a little tweak, you know, just like to remind my ankle.
As
hey,
an old
hurt yourself.
man, it's just every few days there's something, you know, like oh man.
Well, I mean, it's in terms of like the ankle tweaks. There's like periodically it'll happen. I'll just step weird and I'll be like, son of a bitch.
Even hooping, like, you know, you catch the court too much, like, oh damn, like too much. All this traction is fucked up.
Well, especially like when you have a sneaker collection, right? And you have shoes on that maybe you don't wear regularly.
Yeah,
there's like a getting used to it, you know, like there's a
but that's why I stick to one pair of hooping shoes generally, or two.
Well, yeah, but
pairs.
I mean, even on a general basis of just walking, like, you know, I don't think it was necessarily a product of the slides that you had on.
No, it was. Well, the problem with it is the only reason I'm saying I'm blaming slides is because if I had sneakers on, I would have probably had more of a foundation to not.
I would have only give you like
I would have
half an inch to an inch extra lift as well.
Well, there's
and
nothing
you're like
holding your ankle.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like when you go to when you wear like if I probably was gonna wear a pair of Jordan 1s. If I wore a pair of Jordan 1s, I'd have had much more of a structure, and I probably wouldn't have rolled it as much. So I'm like, you know what? From now on, rest of the summer, no slides. Maybe in my backyard, right?
Well, we're dwindling. I mean, we're middle of August already.
Yeah,
So.
Summer went by quick.
Yep.
The older you get, the more time goes by quicker. And then when you hear about the fact that the Earth just spun quicker than it's ever spun before in its history.
Which, again, there's like context behind that they did not put out initially, which is like, it's like milliseconds that is
but
different
it's quicker.
in the day, in the length of the day. Like,
if you
it's
were
not even a
millimeters
full second.
taller than you are now, you'd still be significantly millimeters are enough where if you had 5, what is that, like a centimeter or something?
It's like I crushed millimeters with the headphones on my. It's not.
What is
that
a
much.
millimeter? How many millimeters are equivalent to like a quarter inch? Like 5 or 6?
I don't know what the hell do I look like. Do you look like I have a ruler or some shit? No,
Isn't there 32 millimeters? 16
you asking?
millimeters?
You always do these
I
things
think
and
it's
you make us
16.
look stupid.
No, well, I'm just trying to remember, dude. Don't be a downer here.
I'm not being a downer. I'm saying I don't know. You know, I can't just give you the answer. So it's
Well, long story short is no slides for the rest of the summer.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna be switching up my kicks for you, fucking. Oh, speaking of that, I was talking about OnlyFans yesterday.
Hey man, listen. All you got to do is be like not the ugliest person in the world and have a vagina, and you can make all kinds of money.
I was talking about OnlyFans, okay, and we were speaking about coincidentally, and without my my inputting into the conversation about it, feet. And the foot fetish people out there.
Apparently, it's a very wide community.
It's a very wide community. I don't know.
Wow.
Right. So, I listen. I still maintain my stance that I am an open-minded person, and I would start an OnlyFans for my feet if there was enough of a demand for it. Honestly, if this podcast
you have to start an accompanying Snapchat and Reddit.
If we had a instead of 294, it was 294,000, and they voiced the fact that they wanted me.
If we had 294,000, we can do basically anything we want and make money.
I don't know if that's true. I think
for the most part,
I think 294,000 subscribers is still too low to like.
Although
really
I saw the stupid ass thing on Instagram, and I don't know if like. Some like I've been watching mad interview shit on YouTube, but I don't know if they addressed it. It basically said like, would you take the jackpot that the fucking $1 billion lotto that just hit, or what they say like 1 million followers on whatever your platform is? And I'm like, Taking the money. Fuck out of here. We're talking about taking the
I'm
followers.
not even gonna have social media if I have $294 million.
No, I don't want. I'm gonna be anonymous.
Well, how much?
I'm
was
going
half
off
of it
the
again?
grid,
400
unofficial
million
way.
or some shit like that.
Yeah, 430 million when it's all said and done.
Dude,
I'm not taking followers.
We've already discussed it. We don't got to go back into it. But I'm on my island.
I'm definitely not choosing followers over money.
Hell no.
It's not happening.
Hell no. Like they're like, will you choose the dinner with Jay-Z or the money? Listen, Jay probably drop a lot of gems, but I'll get in that room with him eventually after I get this money. But for now, I have to take the cash, man.
It's actually a good transition. I was reading some other shit and it said, and it was Jay-Z specific for this particular question, but it doesn't have to be. What is one song, any genre you choose, that you would like to have been present in the studio session for the recording?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. You've kind of put me on the spot here because there's a lot of songs to be.
That's what we do. Yeah.
So and is this any artist you said?
Yeah, they were specific to Jay. They're like Jay, you know.
So,
has a lot,
okay,
he has
do you
like
wanna do Jay?
because he has a lot of like you know, he's known for his studio, no writing, one take Jay, all that shit. So like, what would you like to have been present for? But he's not everybody's favorite rapper. He's not everybody's
we
like
can
whatever.
keep it to Jay because otherwise it gets complicated and we're not gonna be able to answer it right now. We can debate what songs might be the ones that you want to hear him be in the studio with.
I watched him like they had a clip of when he was doing 99 Problems and he was like doing his part and the cops part and da da da, and so he would like had to do the voiceover and voiceover.
That's probably a good one to think, and that's what I'm really trying to think about. What is the one that is more animated or entertaining that you would be like, okay, that would be pretty cool to see him perform, or not perform, but the first time he actually went into the studio and laid that track. How did that sound?
Yeah. What is the idea of the whole question?
Yeah, I think that's something I'm gonna have to ponder because there's a lot of them. By album, maybe man, 22 Twos might have been pretty cool to hear him rap that.
Yeah, but I don't even know if he was like one take Jay at that point, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, we're gonna. I guess so. We'll get out of there. So, what do you want to start at? Where's one take Jay begin?
I don't know, to be honest with you, but
Maybe
I guess
somewhere-
we can make the assumption that he just did it the entire time.
Maybe somewhere in Blueprint, you would want to find him. That's like the sweet spot, I would assume. You find him somewhere in Blueprint in the studio, and that's probably peak Jay at that time. So now he's a different type of animal, as Dave Chappelle has kind of evolved from only comedian to like
Transcending.
He's transcended what a comedian is. Like there's just something like about that. So maybe at some point Jay did that as well. So you gotta,
of course, yeah.
Maybe Dynasty.
That's the thing I have the
maybe,
double XL where it said like, has Jay-Z transcended hip hop?
So maybe somewhere in the volume, somewhere in Volume 3, Dynasty, Blueprint era.
Well, Volume 3 is largely regarded as one of his forgettable albums.
Maybe Dope Man. I used to love that shit.
Yeah.
No, I think there's
Because I think it had to be something with like, you know, you want ad libs.
I would just like to be in the studio with people like MOP.
Yeah. See how lively it is as compared to the music.
I wasn't, just for the record, I was not done speaking about OnlyFans. But we can move on. Just know. Mark my words. If there's enough, I'm gonna monetize my fucking feet. I don't give a fuck.
We've been every Sunday. Listen, like
you
clockwork.
think I like doing my job at work?
Every Sunday we
still
pick up
do it because they pay me. Goddamn it!
Every Sunday we pick up subscriber 294, and then like every Wednesday we lose it. I don't think
we pick up that 294 every week, man. It's just
Sam
like,
sent a text to a group chat the other a week ago or some shit. And he's like, I think we maybe actually were able to make 300 by the end of the year. And I was like, unfortunately for us, that's a push.
That's a push, unfortunately, because then we dropped one right away.
Instantly. It's like, instantly. Yeah, like they heard him. YouTube algorithms were like, remove that.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, I'll fuck around and.
Hey, for sure.
Listen, even if 10 of you right now decided that you would pay for either Patreon or OnlyFans for my feet, I'm not gonna do it for cheap. I'm not doing it cheap. But I'll put a camera right now on my shoes. Listen, my ankle hurts.
I've turned off commenting. I don't want to know none of the nasty things y'all are thinking.
Well, we need to know because the more
I don't want to.
Listen.
I don't want it.
Listen. I know it sounds weird, but again, like I said, do you think I like doing what I do? I deal with actual shit at work. So
it's fair enough.
So I will listen for the right price.
I can even make shit tighter.
That wasn't.
I'm talking about Jay connected somewhere in there.
That wasn't. But no, for the right price, I'll go get a Jello mold. Anyway, we'll leave it at that.
I think I was thinking like one of the Jay and like Pharrell collabs. I don't know.
Change clothes.
I haven't thought what's that what's the one he did?
And girl, I promise you, no substitute. It's just me.
What's the one where he's like
frontin'?
Yeah, frontin'. There you go.
How'd it go? I forget that's a good fucking verse.
Every time your name was brought up, I would act all nonchalant in front of an audience like you was just another shorty.
I put the naughty on, but truth be told, you threw it for me a loop. That's Hove.
Either that, or I think it would be
Denzel and acting like I ain't feeling what you
it
want.
would either be that or probably Big Pimpin'.
Stunting like you ain't my only girl when you are. I'm ready to where you are. Anyway, Big Pimpin'. Because I would rather. So I don't. Maybe back then they were in the booth together. I would assume back then they probably got in the booth together. But there's a chance that they didn't. Although I think back then the technology didn't lend itself to doing what they do now, where it's just kind of send the beat and let me put some over it.
That's not common. That was a common practice then.
That is a good song then to do it, because I would love to have seen Pimp C in the blowing eyes, smoking, keep a leader in my cup.
But also Bun B. I mean, obviously, rest in peace, Pimp C. But just because he's gone doesn't mean we have to sleep on Bun B. At all.
Bun B got that burger shit he created outside in the South, and it's starting to become more and more. I forget, Trill Burgers, I think it's called. Apparently they're good.
I mean, I have no doubt. I love burgers as it is, you know?
I like burgers, but only cheeseburgers. If you're a fucking commie who puts no cheese on your fucking burgers, you can go kiss my ass.
Anybody who removes cheese from places that it's supposed to be.
I think that's actually pretty disrespectful. That was probably fucked up. I just said that, right? Because in communistic places, you only get like a certain amount of cheese.
Yeah, but if some people it's not like they're captives. Some people like the communism way. And those people take that wherever they go.
No,
we're talking about those people. I'm not trying to like point out the people who are like in an unfortunate situation.
What I'm talking about is
you carry it over on purpose.
Let's say they give you 10 slices of cheese for the week, and you sometimes you gotta have a hamburger. You can't have a cheeseburger. It happens
here, man. Government cheese happens the thing.
I get it, but like the government cheese thing is like 14 feet long, and it's like plastic cheese. So
it's like the shit that they made pizza with in public school back in the day.
The pizza in public schools is pretty fire.
Nah, but that shit was like cardboard with cheese melted on it.
But it was good. Tell me you don't remember what it tastes like right now.
Not for sure.
Okay.
But like after you've had like better pizza as a grown person, you don't want that ever again.
Sometimes shitty pizzas hits them. You're good with it. Listen, no, I'm saying for those people that, let's say they gave them 10 slices, you can't always have the cheeseburger. That's like,
well, then don't use it on burgers.
You definitely ain't having double cheeseburgers.
Yeah, because if you have 2 patties and you don't have 2 slices of cheese, the fuck?
No, man. Listen,
what is you talking about? Tripping.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we didn't really like put too much onto the whole J.
Well, the thing is, like I said, this is something that we'd have to. I want to ponder more about, because there's always.
Well, that's not the idea of potting, man. You know.
There's always something you what?
It's not the idea of potting. We take and we dissect.
I know, but you can't dissect something that like you really have to go. You'd have to go through his library right now and kind of really think about.
I mean, you know how
what he's put out, because there's a lot of J album or J songs that you probably aren't even thinking about right now. You know,
I think you'd be surprised.
Would you want to be like in the studio where they were doing some of Watch the Throne?
Yeah, because at that time I still liked Kanye. You know?
Yo, is it me or is he? Every time you hear Kanye now, you kind of feel the same way about like how you feel like when you hear Eminem. Just like both you guys gotta stop it.
No, because I mean, again, like I'm still able to separate the eras.
Well,
of him,
no.
Right? So like old Kanye, I can still listen to that.
Can you hear old Kanye? I'm talking about like new versions.
But yeah, like new shit.
The new versions,
Kanye.
I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm not
You're not supposed to steal from us. No, it's honestly terrible.
Yeah, it's not.
He was on
It's funny though. He put like after the Pete and Kim breakup, which that's also something I had on here.
Didn't he say he died or something like that?
Yeah, he said what the hell he called him? Skeet. There you go, Skeet Davidson. And now he's like in trauma therapy for it or some shit.
Well, dude, like I know people will make fun of it, and if you want to like make the jokes, it's obviously jokes to be made, right? But that's low hanging fruit. in my opinion,
yeah, but low-hanging fruit is the fruit that sometimes only short people can reach, and so
Yeah, but well, that's not my fault. You're short. Listen,
as I said, I'm only tall enough to be able to get things out of the top cabinet.
That's it.
That's as tall as I've been.
I didn't get tall enough to be useful in things.
No.
No. In my opinion, I think that. So firstly, he proposed to Kim, right? She said no.
But he had to know that there was.
I think it's a matter of he falls hard. He's a person that falls hard. You can tell.
And I mean, listen, it's Kim Kardashian, right? That's cool and all,
dude. He was like, we've all whacked off to her that fucking that tape. It's not like the greatest, but you're like, hey, that's Kim Kardashian. She's naked. True. You know. Yeah. It's the you can't watch it now because it's Ray J and you just laugh. It's if I had one wish.
It's terrible. There's so much terrible involved.
But so he's obviously a person that falls hard, and you can't blame somebody. Like
but I mean, it's not like he hasn't had some bad women in his life.
Yeah, I know, but he was trying to lock Kim down, man. He
was trying to lock Ariana Grande down early on.
Grande. I would always be like, my name is Ariana Grande.
Yeah, since Joe Budden wants to steal our things, we'll call him Grande. Well, you steal the rolling R of Ariana Grande. That's like their running joke thing with her.
Well, it's kind of
Ariana Grande.
It's kind of how you pronounce it, ain't?
No, because there's
can you roll your R's? You have to. Your
if I try, I can Grande for sure. Grande.
You know, it's funny. I don't think Vivi can roll her R's. Like, when people can't roll their R's, it's really funny. Like,
but her native language is supposed to be Spanish.
I don't know. Anyway, it's funny because when they try to roll their R's,
is that generalized? Like, am I allowed to do that? I don't know. I'm gonna do it anyway
because they can't like you can't control your tongue. Anyway, dude, you could. It seems like you couldn't even be a member of Zelda.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
man, West. I found this new rapper.
You can't even pick up a phone call. You can be like, you can't do that. That's so limiting to not be able to.
The rolling of an R is pretty versatile, but only in situational things. You'll never remember why it's useful until it's useful.
Until you can't do it, and like
you'd be like,
it's hilarious.
It sounds pretty bad.
It's not like a speech impediment, so I feel bad. No, I don't feel bad making fun of it.
It's not a speech impediment. It's just it's a lack of ability to be.
Some people just can't do things, and it's okay to laugh at it. You know,
just because you suck at things doesn't mean that I'm gonna suck at things.
For the people who can't,
it's all right. But yeah, that J thing, we're gonna have to definitely put it on the shelf for a second, think about it, and then we can come back. But I think we should also expand it. If you really want to think about what your favorite songs are and what the most energetic, would you have liked to have been in the studio when Michael Jackson was creating some? As an older man.
Well, that's why I said we can open it up. I said the only main idea of the reason why Jay was the center point of this particular question.
And I'm okay with opening it up. I'm just saying,
no writing
on a whim.
Like the fact that he's in the studio, he's in the booth, doesn't have like a piece of paper that he's reading off of. It's just all off the dome, shit that he didn't write one single time. Like that's pretty impressive. I ain't gonna lie.
How many times do you think? Out of all the rappers who have said we don't rap. What is the percent, or not rap, write? What is the percentage that actually do not write? Is it only Jay-Z? No wonder you all suck. None of y'all are writing your raps.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Think about it, right? Like Jay, having been the renowned not writer that he is, almost every album that he put out has been number one. That means that all those other people who claim that they have not written have not been able to be number one because it's like MJ in the 90s. You haven't been able to be number one because I've been here. So, I don't know. I don't think, first of all, that there's as many has claimed that they don't write.
What about
I think that maybe it became practice after Jay put out Lyrical Exercise and he was like, this is how I do it.
What about some older G Unit shit, Which reminds me, we both said we actually just kind of coincidentally watched the same thing, but 50 was on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And he'll forever be one of my favorite folks.
It's so funny because he's talking about he's touring with Yayo, but he's also like, I'll never do another album with these guys.
Yo, he is it's funny because but I think he's respected in that way by these guys probably because they know where they stand with him. He's like, I'm tired of carrying him. My back is tired. That's what he said. He's like, I can't do it.
The only one who, I don't want to do that to them because like I'm a Lloyd Banks fan. I was a fan of Young
Banks is
Buck
still
before
nice,
he went crazy.
though. And Young Buck is.
But I was gonna say like Game as far as like the whole I wrote this much of his initial album, like he went on without 50 to be a real big success.
Of course,
and
of
arguably
course.
the bigger of the G Unit crew.
Yeah,
to, like,
outside of 50.
Right.
Outside of 50, of course. The Game just released a new album. It's probably
Mad album,
subpar.
mad songs. There's 30 fucking songs on there.
It's like subpar probably because of the fact. To me, it's a lot of like.
I have to go back and
I hear a lot of the
listen to more of it
drill. He's trying to rap drill.
Well, it's called Drillmatic.
I know, but come
the
on.
name of the album.
But it doesn't sound
Focus.
great to me. I think he should have. It's like he didn't. He went too far left. He should have kept a little bit more of him.
I've only given it one listen, and I haven't gone all the way through to track 30 yet because it's a lot of fucking songs. I was spending a large part of my day cleaning yesterday, and in the old just throw that shit on. I'd have to go through and listen to it again, but to me, I mean, Game always puts out a decent album. I think a lot of the attention on this album kind of got taken by his Black Slim Shady song. That
10 minutes of just attacking Eminem.
Yeah.
Listen, I spend many minutes attacking Eminem, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do it on an album that I have since I haven't released one in so long. But anyway, 50 Cent, right? Always gonna be one of my favorite people in show business for sure. He's just so matter of fact with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's like the thing about 50 is they'll ask him a serious question.
He'll say all these things with a smile on,
and he'll say it all with like this like straight faced smile, like
he's like Charlemagne, just like laughing bullshit.
They were talking about Tierra Marie, right?
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly why, but she owed him like $35,000.
Now she owes him like 50.
So he was like, I think it's up to like 50 something right now. They were like,
it's more.
They're like, it's more. He's like, well, yeah, it keeps going up. She keeps dodging. He's like, I'm gonna make her feel like she went to college, right? And so then he was like, Charlemagne said, 50. It's obviously not about the money with you. What is it? Is it the principle? He's like, well, yeah. He's like, I gotta set an example for people to stop coming to fuck with me, right? That's how he said it, and he just straight faced.
But not even straight face. Like he has a smirk on the entire time he's doing these interviews.
You gotta give 50 so much credit. The man got hit 9 times.
And after what Power of the Dollar mixtape, right? Like after that came out, then he got hit. Then he did get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, because if you or at least most of it. But yes, Power of the Dollar. If you listen to his raps, it's before he had the slur because he got obviously shot in his face. Mm-hmm. And I think
if you watch Get Rich or Die Trying, you
I think he's got like he's got the bullet or something like in his tongue or like there's a fragment or something in there. I think that's why he has that slur.
Yeah,
50's got a dope rap voice, right?
Yeah.
So
I think we like I don't know if it's one of those topics that we started and we're like, we'll get back to it, but it was about like the best
rap voices and Dave not being here doesn't help that, but so we'll talk about it. But 50 does have one, and that's one thing that you got to give G Unit as a whole, right? Maybe a little less to Yayo extent.
Everything involving G Unit is less to Yayo for me.
But I'm
not a huge.
I like Yayo only because Yayo, when you accept him for what he is in the game, then you appreciate it more.
No, because the same thing I said when Thoughts of a Predicate Felon initially came out. Without G Unit backing him, there's no Yayo. Anybody who's been trying to like rap 50, for 50 like the last 10 years, 20 years, whatever, fucking since people have been trying to rap, mad people are better than him.
50 said, he's like, listen, with him it's different. He's like, Yayo, when he does something wrong, he just look at you like, my bad. And then, you say, all right, just keep going to the next time he does something wrong. But
there were tracks on that album that were really good.
But of course. But look at Lloyd Banks, his voice, original, very unique.
I just remember when Game went hard on 300 bars and running, he's like, I sounded like Oscar the Grouch with them nursery rhymes.
Yo, Game was rapping at one point for sure.
I mean, he's like,
I don't know.
Everything he's put out for the most part has been.
He hasn't lately.
Like 1992 was good. Doc 2.5 was good. Like all them shits was pretty good.
He wasn't like rapping.
I think this will be another album that once you go through it a few times, you'll find what you like about it. It's just a really long album. Like nobody puts out 30-track albums besides him and Chris Brown.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't been rapping like that lately. But and then you got Lloyd Banks. Young Buck. who's got a pretty good distinguished voice.
Yeah, he was there.
Game,
He was there.
and
There's
then 50.
other South. Well, he was obviously Nashville, so a different representation. He wasn't New York or California. You know?
But they all had a decent, like their own unique voice and their own niche, whatever. But 50 will always, you got to give 50 the most credit out of a lot. He said he had something like 26 TV shows or something like that.
He got like 50% of the stars lineup, whatever.
How many fucking TV shows?
He's like, I think like 76% of like the viewership for stars is his shows.
Not counting his pockets, but man, that man got to be close to $1 billion already.
Oh yeah,
he has to
for sure.
But
I'll believe it.
I think it's time for break.
Oh yeah,
so
50 minutes in here.
We'll see y'all soon.
All right. To start the second half, there's just a few things that we need to clap it up about. Number one, everybody who was involved in the shooting murder of Ahmaud Arbery has been sentenced. Keep that applause going.
Hell yeah.
They all have at least got a life sentence. Some got a little cherry on top. Fuck you to all those gentlemen.
Hell yeah.
Rot, you sons of bitches.
They look like people you want to just punch right in the fucking face.
Absolutely, they do, and they probably will get punched in the face a few times.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I don't know how prison works, but yes, probably.
Me neither, but there's always. I think there's like to some degree people are getting asses whooped.
Yeah, I would assume there's some ass.
The people who deserve it get it.
I would
even
go as far as to say some people that don't deserve it do.
Well, of course, but if you're in there, the assumption is that you deserve it to some degree, I guess. We haven't talked about Breonna Taylor, but the full justice hasn't been served there yet, but a little bit. We're making strides. So this applause needs to be a lot longer, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a very short.
It's very short. And then the one on a slightly lighter note. Not that those aren't light, because positive news. But Serena Williams.
Oh yeah, she's retiring.
She's retiring after an amazing career.
23 Grand Slams.
Unfortunate that
not gonna act like I know what any of that means.
Nah, but she's not officially done yet. I think she has one more U.S. Open.
I thought she was done.
I think this is like the current U.S. or the one upcoming or whatever. That's when she's done.
Really? I thought that it was over.
No,
it's like a little less climactic.
Well, she announced her retirement.
I would have thought
it's like when an NBA player announces the retirement, like this is my last season, and then they still play their whole season.
Not all of them do that.
It gives them the farewell tour.
Not everybody wants the farewell tour. You don't need the farewell tour.
Not everybody deserves a farewell tour.
True. All I'm saying is that
you'd like to be able to celebrate them. I like the idea of announcing the retirement before the season gets underway, because now when you go to each individual stadium, all your fans get to kind of celebrate your last game there. Not everybody's...
Yeah, but why not keep them wondering? They don't need to know. Listen, as far as...
That's like, I think I went... the season that Dirk retired, I was able to go to a game at Amway Arena. The only game that I've ever been in Amway Arena, right?
That's the name of Dallas's arena?
I'm pretty sure. It's either... Yeah, I think so.
Really? Okay.
It's either that or Orlando, but I think it's Dallas.
Dallas... I don't know. I thought it would be something else.
Well, whatever. Anyway, I was all the way up. Like, my back was against a wall. That's how high up we were. But it was cool to, like, just go see. That's the first game I've ever seen Dirk play in live, too. So it was like,
Barely saw him, but it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I need some binoculars.
I remember when we saw Michael Jordan play. We were in the house, but we couldn't tell you which head was his.
I mean, yeah.
I was like, that looks like a bald black head right there. I don't know.
I think there's a 2 on that jersey somewhere. I don't know.
Dude, I remember, but we were at the nosebleeds, but we were in that motherfucker. That's all that mattered to me. I was in the same house.
Word.
Or same stadium.
Exactly. So there you go. Like, it's nice to be able to recognize that as a fan. Hey, this is the last opportunity I'll get to see this person play. Like, let me take it in. I'm not gonna be focused on all the other shit happening in the studio.
Nobody knows when they may not play. You know what? I just feel like you're gonna fucking retire. You better play every 82 games you got. I'm gonna my legs feel a little sore. I'm gonna take the day off, man.
Well, it's like that trend that they're trying to get like all the players on the off season right now to go and do like the little tournaments and shit, so that like the crowd gets to see them. People who can't afford to go to the games.
I forget who said it, but it was like they said if you love the game and you're in shape or able to come play at some of these pro-am games for the fans, let them.
I think it's a good idea, man. It's like the reason why you are in a position you are is because the fans are allowing it to be a thing. I mean, it sounds.
No. Well, yes, but also no.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, again, if they're not able to go and do it and they want to come and see you and you don't get an opportunity because financial situation is what it is. It's nice. It's a nice gesture.
Unfortunately, sir, in this capitalistic society, there's always going to be somebody to fill that seat.
Well, for sure. But
so
regardless,
if
it's
you're
a nice.
Looking
it's
at
a nice,
it in the regards of being a player, you're like, well, what does that matter to me? Like, listen, I'm on the coast of. I'm in Mykonos. I'm in the coast of Mykonos.
If somebody is a fan of you and they would like to be able to see you play live and they can't go do it due to financial constraints, it's a nice gesture on the part of the athlete to be able to be like, yeah, let me go somewhere more local. Like, you can see me play. It's not an official game. You don't get to see the entire NBA out here, but like we can put on a show for you that you wouldn't otherwise get.
Okay, so I was on this morning. I woke up and I saw a meme. Somebody sent it to me, or not a meme, like a video, and it was this lady and her daughter and a gentleman sitting at the window seat. So the mother was aisle, daughter was middle. She said, "Excuse me, sir, but would you mind if we switch seats just for this last part?" She's like she really enjoys looking out at this point, and it calms her down a bit.
He's chewing on a damn bone and it's loud, so I put it in the closet and now he's like, oh, I want it.
He said, and she's like, it really calms her down. And he's like, even if I really wanted to, I think it's probably best that your daughter learn a valuable lesson. Life's not really like that, is it? You don't always get what you want.
It's true.
She's like, seriously, guy? Yeah, bitch. But, yeah, I would not. Like, obviously, this is a manufactured scene. But I'm not moving. What? Your daughter wants to what?
It's true.
Like, she's been bugging me this whole fucking flight. There's no fucking way she's getting this window seat.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
Just like 10 minutes ago, she slapped my peanuts out my hand.
Yeah,
my peanuts. P-E.
Yeah, enunciate when we were talking little girls involved.
N-U-T. Peanuts out of my hand. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're definitely. The lesson I think should more or less be if you're a little asshole, you're specifically not going to get what you want.
They didn't give that context in the.
So you just added that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Chances are she was annoying the whole time.
It was already a manufactured scene.
Right. Well, I've already given you some more fabrication, but honestly, they didn't give that. But
you gave up now.
In my mind, there's got to be some sort of context. In my mind, this little girl has annoyed me at least once or twice since we've gotten on this plane. Even if she was a perfect angel. If I liked you, if I thought it might give me.
We're in an airplane, and you know how hard it is. There's no room. I'm not gonna switch mid-flight to give you this seat.
You mean? What do you mean? This last part? This last hour? Fuck out of here, bitch! I don't want to move for your little.
I paid just as much for this ticket, and I like this seat. Thank you.
I think it's I think. Listen, obviously, like you said, it's it is a scene. Somebody put this together for reiteration that you shouldn't be a pansy ass kid, and you should be understand that life is life.
There's definitely a large sense of entitlement in the world today.
Would you move?
I don't know, it depends how I felt on the day,
Really? There's a chance?
There's a chance.
There's zero chance.
It depends. Like if you added that element of she annoyed the shit out of me the entire flight, then no, I'm not moving anywhere. Fuck you. But
no,
if I'm feeling all right, if I'm like, all right, I gotta pee anyway, I'm gonna get up, like whatever, take it. That's fine. That would depend.
Now you're adding things to the element. You gotta pee.
Well, you're adding things too, so I'm adding things.
Yeah, in my scenario, you don't have to move at all. In this one, you gotta move. In my scenario, she's an asshole, and you didn't like her anyway.
Then I probably have headphones on. I'm not gonna look at you. I'm gonna pretend like I have no idea that you're there.
What you think you think it gets you in with the mother?
Well, is there a father there?
No.
Is the mother attractive?
I don't know.
Well, that would make a difference.
Yes.
If I don't want anything to do with the mother, I'm definitely not gonna.
I think regardless, just to be an asshole, no. Your kid can sit there and just shut up while I watch outside. And then I'll make it seem so nice.
Like,
oh my God, look at the clouds. Oh my goodness, you gotta see this.
I feel bad for anybody missing out on this.
Oh, if you're sitting in the middle seat or the aisle seat, it must suck. Right now, if you're the two women sitting in the seat right next to me, it must be trash. Oh my God, look at the ocean, the beaches, the colors.
I mean,
Or even funnier
you
than
gotta be
that,
feeling particularly petty that day to do.
even funnier than that is just close the window and just go to sleep. Close the window and like prop your head on it so they can't open it. Just,
Actually, don't enjoy this very much.
you're like, you know what? It's my favorite part too. And then when we get to it, like, yep, I did that.
There's some other shit I was watching, and it was somebody like in the seat, and then somebody behind them.
So that's not petty.
And they were like trying to close the window so they could sleep, and the other one behind it kept opening it. And I was like,
with their hand or with their foot?
With their hand. Oh, I'm slapping the shit
I
out
saw
of somebody.
the one with a foot at one point.
Hell?
I'm beating.
You putting
the
your
shit.
foot by my
Dude,
face?
There's no. I'm getting on the no-fly list. There's no way because I'm pretty sure in order to not be on to be on the no-fly list, you have to get like in a fight or you get on the no-fly list. Dude, if that happened to me, I'm probably like I'm gonna like reach over and grab their head with the full head of hair, just like pull them up and just look at them, the back of their head that is, because their hand is backwards, and I'm gonna punch it like this.
Yeah,
right?
definitely don't.
Or I might break your fucking arm. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's
no-fly list instantly.
Nah, don't try to like maneuver my window. You know?
Yeah, dude. Like this is my window, bitch. They kept putting it down, right? Or
yeah,
up.
I think so. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
no. There's
I would start going.
There's certain things that I'm not gonna allow.
I would start fucking with the seat, like pushing the seat really hard. Dude, I will battle you with. I'll battle your petty with my own form of petty. That,
For
as
sure.
you saw from the last topic, as Adam said, was pretty petty.
Yeah, I mean, like, we'll do a United Airlines, and both of us get dragged out of this motherfucker if we need to.
We're like, I'm gonna make sure that we both don't have a good day after this.
And I'm still gonna have a good day. Pay you no fucking mind. Once this is
Okay,
all
all
done.
right. If they're doing that, do you tell? Do you like, hey, they're doing this for my window?
No, I turn around and threaten them. If you don't cut that shit out, I'll fucking punch you upside the head.
Just look at like, yo, stop, stop.
But
Stop.
no, you don't even have to say that because it's already clear. I want you to stop.
Or they got magazines.
You already clearly know.
They usually have magazines like
Just roll it up and
roll
smack
it
him
up
on the
and
nose.
just, bam! Like not on the nose, right in the fucking face.
No.
I'll give him a crazy ass.
Don't do that.
I'll give him a crazy ass paper cut. like that magazine card, that magazine stock is it's pretty nice and stocky, dude. You just come across the like, and they'll be like, ah. I mean, there is a good chance they get blood on you. You got to be prepared for that.
I mean, paper cuts don't typically like squirt blood out. You know?
Well, they might if you. I mean, their wrist is right there. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to do to them, but it's a good chance you can kill them.
I think you're assuming a little much of a paper cut. You know, like even if it's on
No, I
your
don't
wrist,
think
it's
so.
not gonna.
I think
it's
paper
not going
cuts
deep
can get.
enough.
You've never had a deep paper cut where you were just like this.
I mean, like what
hurts.
the fuck are you doing where you get a paper cut that deep? I don't even. Is it
Anything.
Is it a paper cut at that point? It's just a cut.
It's just a gash.
Like a paper cut. The idea is that it's like thin as a piece of paper.
Yo, that's a good. It's a good segue to a topic for my beloved fiance. So.
Shout out to Vivi.
I think I'm on record as not being a bike person, right? A bicycle or motorcycle for that matter. Okay, there's a difference. Bikes uncomfortable, my dick hurts, I don't like it. All right? Motorcycles, assuming that seat to be pretty comfortable, all right? Which is, therein lies one of the issues because you want to ride them more. But I tend to so if I'm driving, right? I was getting on an on-ramp 2 days ago. There's a slow car there's a car in front of me and then like a landscaping, so they got the trailer, they're going slow.
Yeah.
Instantly in my mind is like, if I'm a bike, I'm flying. And then I'm like, there's no way you're going to stop me from being the guy that goes past all of the traffic on the side. I'm going to be that biker.
Like, I don't have to be in traffic? I'm going to get out of this.
I will never be in traffic if I had a bike. The problem is I know what I do.
Eventually it's going to be your death.
It's going to catch up. It's going to catch up to you somehow. And I'm not a big fan of that. But bikes, not a fan of those at all. I don't want to own one. Part of me,
Schwinn fucking Armstrong.
right? Nobody asked me to ride a fucking bicycle. Anyway, so
even Lance Armstrong faked his way through all of his Tour de France's.
yeah, that guy fucking. And then they said that he never had like. Did he? I
don't even know
testicular cancer.
I'm not sure if like his actual disease was a real thing. All I know is that he used like
PEDs.
performance enhancing drugs and. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I'm not against PEDs if you ask me.
I am because
Why?
listen, if I can get a hold of some PEDs, I can make a living in sports. So why the fuck do I have to sit here and live a normal ass existence?
No. You know, I'm not just gonna let you say that. I'm just gonna let you say that.
Oh, please. Listen, if you're somewhat athletically inclined and you took some drugs to enhance your performance.
Sir, I need to clarify.
Take my fucking Viagra for my baseball
Are you
game.
telling me that if you were to take PEDs, there is a sport you could play professionally right now without having taken it? That's what I'm asking. Is PED something that would allow you to play the sport that you're talking about right now? Any sport, baseball, basketball, football.
Not right now at 32, but if I like basketball,
part of it
for instance,
is understanding and being skillful. No, PEDs in basketball do nothing. You're not. Maybe they make you faster, a little bit stronger.
Yeah, those are very important things in basketball.
But the skills that you need to have to accompany it are the ones that you're not going to get by just taking.
Yeah,
PEDs.
I know, but I have those skills already.
It's not like taking PEDs is going to make you dribble
I had
better.
those skills. Yeah. I don't want to talk for current day.
Currently, yeah.
I don't know.
But no, PEDs aren't going to make you dribble better. They're just going to make you like, I don't know.
But I will say this. Having like the limit of our baseball playing has been just like on the block back in the day, right?
On the block.
But if I was taking PEDs, I feel like I could fucking rocket home runs.
Yeah, then.
No. Today.
No.
Put me behind the fucking plate.
Can you hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball without it?
I don't know.
Probably not.
I haven't tried.
You couldn't.
But I maybe could.
You won't.
You never know.
For sure not.
There's a lot of people who I look at them and I'm like, you can play. I can
Listen,
play.
I'm telling you right now. But back to Vivi, my beloved fiance.
Yes.
So Vivi's been working hard, you know, in the real estate game, doing her thing, and she finally took a day off on Friday. You know, decided to go ahead and enjoy the day. Took a bike ride from our house to the lake. Now, we live in the city, but we live at the far end of the city, so quite far from the actual lake. One street, straight shot, whatever, but miles.
Mm-hmm. If you know about how the city is laid out, then
rough terrains, iffy neighborhoods, pothole-ridden streets, cracks in the pavements, crazy drivers. Mm-hmm. All of these things are things you need to worry about while you ride bikes. That's why I don't do it. Vivi rides all the way to the lake.
For my ass.
Yeah, I'm more of my dick doesn't feel great either. So Vivi rode her bike to the lake, rode up and down the bike path, had fun, successful.
No hands.
So she rides then back down the streets of Chicago, back to the house, and about, I would say 80% of the trip in, both going, getting her things done, and coming back, 80% of the trip, somebody opens their door, and there's
car door.
There is a specific term for this, by the way. We've looked it up. She was doored. Now, dooring, if you're not familiar with the term, is when somebody who has parked their car or is in a parked car, right?
Sorry, Vivi, but it's kind of funny to hear.
In a parked car, opens their door to the street traffic, right, without looking. And then, subsequently, what happens is a biker who may be just going on about their day, hits the bike and proceeds to be a somersaulting Jesse White tumbler to get over the door. So Vivi, and I only can make jokes because she's fine.
Good, very good.
She flew off and hit her shoulder dead dead on the ground. Now she didn't hit her head; she hit just her shoulder. It's a massive bruise, like big as fuck. It's got like nice little. I believe they call it the contusion.
That would be the medical term for it, which is science. Which is
science, but that's not general knowledge. That's something you would know.
Like mad people know
if you've incurred many contusions.
I mean, most people have got a bruise or two in their life. You know?
Yeah, but a bruise is not a contusion. I mean, maybe it is.
It's important to know that because if you go to the hospital for it,
I got a contusion.
You're like, oh, we got multiple contusions. Like, what the fuck happened to me? Am I dying?
A contusion? That sounds like
you couldn't say bruise, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's just too much. Anyway, so she's got her little contusion on her shoulder, and so she calls me, babe. I'm like, what the hell happened? You could just hear it in voices. She's talking to somebody. I believe it's the girl who doored her, and she's like, come pick me up. My bike is this. So from what I've gathered, the reason why her bike was not able to be ridden is because Vivi, though I love her, doesn't understand bicycles. Okay, the chain had popped off. From what I can
she
gather,
turned it upside down
it's
and
in my
put it in
back. It's currently sitting in the back of my car. Like I haven't removed
She
it.
doesn't know the pedal trick.
Yeah, I don't think she knows that. So I'm gonna probably bring it home and mess with that. But all in all, she's fine. I was mad. She didn't ask for insurance. Lesson here, kids. If that happens, ask for insurance. It's important.
Yeah, man. You don't want to be
I
stuck
think
with
she
the medical
was,
bills.
you know, she's like she was kind of discombobulated. You know, definitely got
In
whatever,
shock a little bit.
in
you know?
shock. So she wasn't able to like react the way she wanted to. But either way, I can't picked her up. Blah blah blah. But yeah, little public service announcement. Watch out for them doors.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Also,
you know what I mean?
there's a term for it. Don't be doored.
Don't be doored. Don't get doored, kids. It sounds like a TikTok fucking challenge. Like the way these dumbass people like go around and try to just fuck with people.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, it's a door challenge. Well, you know, glad she's all right.
There's a TikTok challenge out there that shows you how to steal Kias, and people are stealing Kias now.
Because I'm sure Kia is not the most secure of vehicles. Like, how do we create a car with like the least amount of components?
I don't care about it, whether or not they are whatever you want to call them. I'm not getting a Kia. I'm not getting a Hyundai. And for what I'm going to get, so Hyundai had Genesis, and then they took Genesis and created its own luxury division. And now when you see Genesis, it doesn't have the Hyundai badge. It's a Genesis badge.
So it's kind of like McLaren and Mercedes. Because technically McLaren is Mercedes, but it's like its own thing.
Well, there's components of them that are they're like their own.
They were initially owned by Mercedes. I don't think they're owned by them anymore.
I don't think they are. But
McLaren
I think
is
even
just
when
like,
that's the case, they're still their individualistic brand. It's just a.
They weren't.
It's just a.
though.
McLaren was.
No.
McLaren was.
No, initially it was just a Mercedes, and then they might be their own thing now. But when they first started, they were owned by Mercedes.
No, McLaren.
Yeah.
McLaren and Mercedes had a collaboration that was the McLaren SLR, I believe it is. It's the one with the gold wing doors. That was a collaboration they had. But McLaren's been around since before then.
I think you're wrong there, but that's fine. Anyways.
But when that happens, though, like there's brands that like Fiat owns a lot of these brands out over European brands.
Yeah.
But all of them are still able to maintain their own separate identities underneath the umbrella. So like even if it was the case, they'd probably benefit from components of chassis and whatnot.
That's like we use this all the time, but like Lexus and Toyota, right? Like on a Lexus, it doesn't have a Toyota emblem. It doesn't say like powered by Toyota or anything like that.
Yeah,
it's made by
parents. Yeah. But the thing I feel like those are so much more closely correlated than the others because you're like
people are just aware.
Yeah, I think in those more luxury brands, I think they do try to create still more division between them because they're such brand identities that one person may want this brand, not this brand, and if you have that associated, they may not want to deal with that as much.
But I mean, if you look at
these cars their lineups, higher end as well. You know,
if you look up their lineups, like a lot of even the internal components are the same.
Oh, of course, a lot of it, dude. You'll hear a lot of cars. Oh,
like a Camry and like the
AMG
engine, some shit like that. You know, they're in the same vein and
there is
the same engine and shit like that.
But IS is Lexus.
Yes, but Lexus is Toyota. That's what I pointed.
I get it. It's just
so it's just like the badge again, the brand identity. It's how that's how people associate it. But if you get a high end Camry, it's largely the same thing as I don't know what specific Lexus is the counterpart, but
I think it's GS now. But I think like at a certain point there's a differentiation. Like Lexus is gonna have the better. They may have better braking, or they may have like the interior more luxurious. But there is a line. Like even if they're similar in their well,
there should be
as a shell or whatever. But now you throw in all leather this, or you have this specific technology.
I mean, they're not going to be 1,000% carbon copies of each other.
Why do we start talking about cars?
I don't know. We get to where we get.
God damn it!
We're talking about Vivi getting doored, and then start talking about how McLaren and Mercedes, and then we get places.
Still don't see why we over here, but anyway, we're here now.
Who knows? But yeah, so we can move on to other things. Carter 6 was announced. Wayne got up on stage and said it. I don't know. I wasn't a big Carter 5 or 4 person,
Yeah.
but 2 and 3 were really good. So
Are you excited about something like that?
What Wayne's era of excitement for me is. I don't want to I don't want to downplay Wayne's contributions because Wayne is Wayne, right?
Right.
But like if he put out that song today with Mr. Carter, right, and he was like, next time mention Pop, Biggie, and Jay-Z, don't forget Weezy, baby. Like I wouldn't feel the same way today with that line as I did when he.
Well, of course.
the
I
song
mean,
out.
I think you got to think. No, because he was obviously in the Hot Boys. He's been with Cash Money forever.
Yes, but
He
as
did-
a as
there-
like
there
a
was
as a top tier solo artist, Carter 2 is obviously like the
well,
breakthrough.
It's not like he didn't put the work in to get to where he was. So
No,
it was 3 albums of great work, and then mixtapes that were just
Well, yes,
bananas.
I mentioned that the drought series is,
But I can't feel
top
my
tier, but-
face.
but
That's what makes me want to hear my iPod. There's so much of that on there.
but in terms of like solo albums from Wayne, Carter 2 and Carter 3 are the standouts, right?
Yeah.
Carter 1 obviously broke the series, and you had like Go DJ and was White Tee him? I don't remember.
No, I don't think so.
But
But I ain't getting my white tee. No, that's Franchise Boys, ain't it?
probably yeah.
Oh, in my white tee.
For some reason, freshman year, and I put a lot of correlation with other those things. But yeah, Go DJ was like obviously is what it was, but Carter 2 was really like the breakthrough for me. It's where I really paid more attention to Wayne.
To be fair, you were like 13 then. Yeah,
But still, it's not like I didn't have a sound.
No, true.
hip-hop.
But at that age, it's still like a little different.
So where did you start paying attention?
I'll say that for Lil Wayne. Well, I knew about Wayne back in
Well,
the
I mean,
Cash Money
obviously, I
days.
knew about him
Like,
as well. It's not like I
he was
didn't know
around
his
when
music.
he was
still.
around in fucking the Hot
I get it.
Boys and all of these things real early on.
None
like
of that changes the fact
like
that
99 2000ish type things.
None of that changes the fact to me that his best solo album at the time was Carter 2 was the best one that he put to that point, and then Carter 3 was obviously.
Of course, but I'm telling you that
There's plenty of artists that have
he said
existed
it-
and sucked until they didn't suck anymore.
You can claim a certain thing when it can't be disputed, right? Obviously now it's like, all right, Wayne hasn't been around as often, or he doesn't make himself as heard. So he may not be the same Wayne he was before, but back then he was on such a run that you couldn't dispute it. So it's why not say it? You can't knock the
Of course.
the line, because at the time, again, it was true, and then tell me if it's not. And you can't.
Well, I wasn't, but I mean, listen, you got to decide where does that end, because
It
the same
ended,
way,
obviously. It
in the same
ended.
way that you felt with Eminem.
Well,
hey,
I'm not-
same thing. He sucks
You can
today,
rap
but
the
he was
lyrics
great then.
now. You rap the lyrics now because they were the lyrics, but it's not. Nobody's
Well,
saying.
I mean, keep the
who's
consistency is all
that
I'm saying,
Eminem, But well, no, because if you're not the if you didn't.
No, not the artist.
also-
Keep a consistency. Keep your thought process consistent. Is what I'm telling you.
What are you talking about? I'm saying that you back then you can say the same. You can say it now. Nobody's. It's not like it's a new rhyme. Not like anybody create. I'm sitting here creating a new rap saying Wayne is the best. I don't care about them. Forget about the rest. Ooh ah.
You shouldn't ever do any of those things.
Yeah, like that. I'm not doing that. Right. I'm literally just and you brought the line up firstly, but I'm not. I'm
Well,
only
yes,
reciting
that's
the
my
line
point.
as lines from back then. Now, when I rap it, I'm not thinking, well, that's the truth right now, because it's not. Also, Big and Pac. Yeah,
Well, I'm saying at the time of the Carter 2, Carter 3, that era of Wayne, anything that he's coming out with, you're like, you're paying attention to it. You're excited about it. You're like, oh, yeah, okay.
Of course.
And now Carter 6 has been announced, and you're like, I don't really know. Like, I'm not sure if I'm excited about it or
Yeah.
not. But it's the same. That's my point. Like, it's the same thing if you compare it to like Eminem. He had a run, and it was great. Now, if you put out a new album, you're like,
well, I don't think that. I've heard Lil Wayne recently. I don't feel like.
On what?
I feel like they're not. He's been on a few songs. Like, there's a few things he's actually released, a couple of verses. But for me, his rapping ability, I don't compare the two. I feel like his rapping didn't age well, right? And he struggles to find how he raps. Now it's like weird.
Well, when you say age well, you mean like he's not the same artist today as he was then.
No,
not
no,
that
well,
his
that-
his
oh.
albums aren't as good today.
No, the albums aren't as good. Also, like
You mean like Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers?
oh
like
no,
those?
them no, those
What
are
the hell are you
fine.
talking about?
I'm
That's
talking
what I'm
about
saying.
his rapping style. Like
I think you're convoluting the argument too much
I'm
because you're
saying,
mixing too
no,
many
no,
points.
I'm not saying that.
You're
saying,
like mixing this part with this part.
no,
and then saying,
dude. I'm literally telling you that.
Okay, we'll say it in a way that makes sense. Because
Dude,
what are you talking
fuck
about?
you. I'm talking about the fact that his rapping style, the style he raps, not that shit. That shit is
That's fine,
timeless.
but
His
the
rapping
style
style
is not the issue.
it is because I'm telling you that Wayne's style still translates well. M's to me doesn't translate. He tries to rap the same way he's always rapped, or even worse, tries to find somewhere else to rap, and he's really terrible at that. Wayne consistently rapping how he's rapped throughout the years since
I'm not
like
following you
Carter
here.
2. How are you not following?
Because it doesn't make any sense.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You're saying that hearing about a Carter
way
6 right now is like, oh, I don't know, and you should keep the same energy that I keep with Eminem, right? To me, they're not the same because the way Eminem raps today, because he's continued his weird Eminem thought process, isn't translating from those days. Like, because what was
Okay, but
let's
a
say,
Carter 4 and a Carter 5 to me were arguably nowhere near the level of Carter 2 and Carter 3.
yeah, but
So,
it's not
to
that
me,
Wayne,
it's not-
it's not that you don't want to, you wouldn't want to
But
hear
it's the same-
Wayne.
it's the same-
You don't want Eminem. Wayne
No,
is more,
that's not true,
Wayne
because-
is more a period. What's the word I'm looking for? You can hear Wayne's music now and not cringe as much as you would hear Lil Wayne.
I disagree.
Eminem's. No, there's
If you put on Carter 4
then
today,
that's subjective.
if I
because
put
we're
on
different.
Carter 4 today, I'm looking at it like, this is not good. Like, he shouldn't have put this together.
But there's a
Yeah,
difference.
and I'm just basing it off the prior work that we've heard from him, which is the same.
True, but we know Wayne's rapping ability. Not that it's as on par to what it was in like '02. What is that? '02, '03 is when Carter 2, '01 maybe Carter 2 came out. Something along those lines. I think it was '02. What '04?
Probably 04, 05.
Well, no, because '05 I think Carter 3 came out right around that time. I could be wrong, but I know that there's because he had like a '02 to '07 run, really '08 ish. But I'm saying like he's not rapping on par with that, but he's not a bad rapper still. You know, for me, and because it's that's why I'm saying it's subjective. To me, Eminem is a bad rapper. I don't see him to be a good rapper anymore.
Yeah, but that's the point is anymore.
I'm more open to listening to a Lil Wayne
No,
track.
Carter 3 came out in 2008.
Okay,
So you're off on that.
All right, that's okay. So no, I'm more opening to listening to Lil Wayne because he didn't. I think he was less of a niche rapper. Eminem was kind of like that super shock value. What he said, we were less like only Eminem would say
I
that.
don't know what you're talking about. Like, it makes me feel like you've never heard a Wayne album in your life when you say things like that.
No.
He was literally
Wayne
in a
was
box
more,
in a way.
Wayne was more versatile and like he didn't only rap about one. Like Eminem was kind of like, all right, I'm gonna be.
He rapped about graphic things he would do with pussy and lean, and there was a whole era
but
where
he
like
could-
5
but
years
his
of that. What are you
His
talking
concepts
about?
were so much. To me, his concepts were so much more. I don't know, elaborate. It was once in a while you'd get a different type of song, but for the most part, he was just rapping.
I think
about
you're just blinded
how
by your hate for
depressed-
Eminem and all this music right now.
M rapped about how how depressed he. I was.
I know you were there. That's why I'm like, I don't know what you're talking
his
about because
M
it's
rapped
not like you don't
some
know.
angst. That was it. All he did was rap about angst. Like my mom fucked me up. And Haley this, and Kim that, and I'm gonna put her in the trunk. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I'm gonna take that bitch to the river. Hey Stan, suck my like. It was kind of in the same vein to me. Great music. I'm not saying it wasn't, but
I'm not. My point here is not to like.
It ran its course quicker for me.
My point here is not to like cape for
It
Eminem
doesn't
and all
translate
this.
well.
I'm just saying they're both had a very similar decline in their careers.
Oh, I don't think the decline was similar. I don't. That's why I feel like it's
So okay,
subjective.
so how did you feel about the Carter 4 and Carter 5? Because those are the last like
they
two offerings.
weren't like the best albums to me.
No, they were shit to me. They were absolutely
But he didn't.
doo-doo.
But the decline wasn't the same. That's what I'm saying. Eminem's rap style from back then didn't translate. It wasn't more timeless. Wayne, if Wayne finds that flow, if you insert.
But when's the last song that you heard from Wayne? That you're
There's
like,
there's
this
something
is-
recent, really recent actually. I don't remember. It was on some new rap album. I just can't remember which, but it was actually a good verse. So when Wayne finds the pocket, his music to me will mesh well today's sound. Eminem to me comes back and it sounds like he's trying to force it.
I haven't heard anything from either of them in like
I
the
won't
last
listen
like
to any more
8
Eminem.
years
I will
that
not.
I've heard.
What
that
was
are
the
like,
last Making of a Murderer 7 or something? He's just like, stop making me angry.
I don't know.
I don't want to hear Eminem rap. I don't.
But that's again like
I also find Lil Wayne more endearing as himself. Like, let's be honest here. Eminem looks a little creepy. Like he's got that weird. He's
honestly. Does
Yeah,
not
but
pretend like Wayne don't look a little bit
Wayne's
creepy.
but like in a sense, their personalities are different. To me, if you see Eminem, he seems like he's kind of like manufactured.
Yeah, but that's fine. We're talking about the music. I like
What's making me? What I'm saying, I'm just taking it as a
in
whole.
terms of like how I received the music. It's similar to me.
Okay, that's
Back early
but that's
on.
why music
had
is subjective. It's different because you see it differently than I do. But that's fine. I just
think that your energy is a little off with the Wayne thing because I don't think that there's been much from him in recent times that has been.
That's subjective. That's subjective.
Okay, so that's why I'm asking you. Like, what is what
I
you've
don't
heard?
remember. But
Okay, outside of that, there's one verse.
No, he's put out music recently, like or been on music for
That's
the
been
last
bad.
couple of years. No, like features and things like
Yeah,
that.
like they've been
he's
bad.
been killing. No,
No,
they haven't.
They haven't been.
They
killing.
haven't been bad.
And again, like I'm not trying to take away from his.
Here's where I'll tell you how I know I'm more open to Lil Wayne. When Eminem comes on a track, I have to quit. I have to leave.
But see, that's
Stage
exactly
left.
what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying you
Gotta
don't
get
keep
out.
that. That's why I'm saying that.
I won't do that
with.
I won't do that with Wayne.
I'm saying that the energy is off with between them two because
I'm saying subjectively they didn't. To me, they didn't fall off.
they both aged
similarly
poorly in the music game.
I doubt. And I don't agree with that either.
And that's why I'm asking, like, do you have any examples? Point me to a recent Wayne thing.
Look up Lil Wayne recent music. He's on.
Just point me to a verse that I can go to and be like, oh, okay, well, this is good Wayne.
I'm not going.
We can do it afterwards. We don't have to do it on.
I'm not going out of my way right now to be like, oh, I gotta go hear Wayne, unless it's like. Oh, but
I know that you're very solidified in your M hate right now.
No.
But like,
I'm saying if Wayne comes on a track right now, I'll hear it. I'm fine. When M comes on, it tends to hurt my ears. It just does. That's what I'm saying. His style, he doesn't have the cadence he used to anymore because I don't think he understands what.
But you haven't. If you say that you turn off the music when you hear his voice, then how do you know that?
Because there's that stupid Griselda song I really like that he keeps fucking up.
He can't keep fucking it up. There's only one verse on the song one time. Like, just don't listen to it.
No, it's because you'll be in the groove. You'll like literally. I think it's in between verses, which makes it worse.
I want your opinions, viewers. Is it just like a narrow tunnel vision for you right now, or what?
It's not. I'm telling you, for me, I don't. Because here's where our disconnect is at. You think that they had a similar drop off in career trajectories,
yes,
right? I disagree. I do feel like Lil Wayne fell off. Right, not as equally bad as Eminem did. So for me, Eminem took a very large tumble. We've discussed.
But we started this with saying like, okay, would you be excited for the Carter 6? So where are you at in terms of anticipation?
It's excited, like a 1 to 10, maybe. Is that like?
Sure.
That be? I'd probably say I'm gonna listen to it for sure. So probably like 6.5, maybe. I'll go ahead and take a look at it, and if it's good, I will listen to it more.
That's what I mean. So if you
I'm
go
open
back
to a great Eminem,
If you go back to 2008, it would have been a 10.
Well,
there's a new album coming. 10.
Well, if you went back to 1996, Michael Jordan would be really great. But in 2001, when he came back, he was good. That's all.
Lord. I think that you have a hard time putting some of your hate aside sometimes. This is what it is.
Me? LeBron hater.
Whoa. We talked about this. We know already that that's bullshit. Yes, I hate him and fuck him, and that will be the energy forever.
I know, but that's all I'm saying. You can't put away your...
That's not the same.
It is.
Come on now.
You hate LeBron. That's the point.
I hate LeBron because of the dumb shit that he does.
And I hate Eminem because of the whack raps he rhymes.
My man. All right, well, we know that Sam can't put biases aside at all here.
No, If
Eminem was like, oh yeah, I'm going to come and recreate Reasonable Doubt, then yes, let's shoot him in the face. He doesn't deserve to put that out.
Em's definitely put out more music recently, right?
What are you talking about?
And it's all been terrible. There hasn't been one.
What have you listened to?
Huh? Anything I can.
You literally just came here. You just sat here and said, "If I hear him, I turn him off." What's it
called? Any fucking. But the thing is about music, if you're driving, you'll be sitting there driving, and you'll be hearing music, and then you'll be in the middle of it, like, wait a minute, what am I listening to? Like, it's like one of those things where the record skips. I have to press pause or skip or.
No, it's one of those things where like
And
you listen to them differently, and now you're like, oh, if I hear anything, I just automatically hate them.
Well, no,
and it's kind of
because
preconceived.
Objectively speaking,
But do you speak objectively? Because you don't.
I'm asking you right now, objectively.
Yeah.
Has his ability to rap decreased? And as an add-on to that, is it because he has no idea what he's doing anymore? Be honest. It never.
No,
it
I
seems
don't
like
really
he's
think it's
experimenting.
that.
It seems like he's experimenting, trying to find his old. Because it used to be da 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 da. Like it was like a really like very.
I compared the two because
that was like a little Limp Bizkit with Eminem.
I compared the two because
They
arguably,
get me now. Shut the fuck up.
arguably, you would both at some point in their
Wasn't that
careers.
Method Man on there? Wasn't Meth on that? Everybody in together now. Shut the fuck up. Come on, I can't hear you. Shut the fuck up. Come on a little louder. Shut the fuck up. You don't remember that?
I don't know.
Well,
Anyway.
we're talking about a career that dropped. Limp Bizkit. That biscuit must have
Did
been
he ever
heavy.
have a top?
Yeah, you definitely. Yeah, they had a very large run. But this is right around the.
It's not my genre of music.
No,
I don't.
and honestly, to me, you were pretty young. Like remember MTV Spring Break times and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, I know some of his music, but I don't really.
And
it's
he was like Carson Daly.
It's never somebody who I held in high regard, so it's not somebody who I'm going to look at the same way.
But he did have a large. Well,
that's fine. A lot of people have great followings that I don't care about.
They were like peak, just like Eminem kind of was, because right when he came around, they were doing Carson Daly. What was it called?
TRL.
TRL. I wanted to say SNL, but that's Limp Bizkit was like.
Yeah,
that type
and
of-
again, like there are plenty of people who have.
But they've had a drop off. That's
crazy
what I'm saying. You asked if
followings
they have
who
a drop off. I'm like, yeah, they had.
Yeah, but
they sold millions.
To me, there's just never anybody who I give a fuck about.
That's
like
fine.
it's hard for me to put myself
Kinda
in
how
it
feel
because
about
I don't.
Eminem right now. I think Eminem should.
And
dye.
this is exactly what my point
He should
is.
dye his head blonde again. That would probably do something for him.
This is my point, though. you have blinders on when it comes to Eminem because you just have decided that you hate him with all of your life.
You
force
fooled me
for some
once.
reason.
I think George Bush said it the best. I
Yo,
think.
but that's
You
Carter
fooled me
4.
once.
That's Carter 4 and Carter 5
Shame
for me.
on you. Shame on you.
That-
Fool me. You fool me. You fool me. You can't fool me again.
But that's
And
Carter 4 and
how-
Carter 5 for me. Both of them were shit.
Yeah.
There's no particular bright spot in those
how I
albums.
feel about those times, right? Like, how old do you think Wayne is by any chance?
Mid 40s maybe,
Mid-
44,
40s,
45,
probably. Do you
something
think
like
him and Eminem are around the same age?
that. Em's a little bit older, I think.
Think so? Okay, maybe a few years, probably, right?
Yeah.
I think at that point, because it was some time between 3 and 4, right? Wasn't it a good amount of years? Because there was label things going on. I attribute a lot of what
But
happened with
it also
Wayne-
seemed as though the Carter 4 was like done longer than when it
oh
came
yeah,
out.
I remember
And if
because
he-
it seemed dated, right?
But it would also seem as though that was like the time of his career where he was at his peak.
Yeah.
So I would expect it to be better than what it ended up being. And like not that there wasn't like isolated songs in there that were okay, but like
maybe I feel like I should Wayne Bale a little bit more, just because of how I feel like. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like Eminem is in the corner in a box rapper, right? Like he's painted. He's in a small, not a small, but a large box. But it's still the same thing. Wayne, I always felt was like Carter 3 displayed so much versatility for him, so much. Really, I mean, it did.
and that's fine, but that's one album that did that.
2 was just a straight. I'm going to show you I could spit, and here it is. But even if you go back to Hot Boy shit, right? Like I've done it on summer nights. I go riding around and I'll hear it. Some of that old like
Yeah, but
fucking-
it was good music, but it wasn't like particularly like this is the best version of Wayne that I'm
he
getting.
hadn't
Like
gotten to where he needed to be yet. He was getting there.
It wasn't the quite lyrical-
Lyrically, he was clever. He just didn't know how to put it all together. In my opinion,
fine, but I mean it's.
I
plenty of
remember people
rappers
used to
who
be like,
ended
"Is he
up
getting ghostwritten for?" Remember that was like a thing because he was so
but
nice
that's-
so quickly.
At some point, everybody has that question surrounding them.
Yeah.
And he started rapping when he was like 16 years old. Like
I think even younger, 12 or 13 to
Yeah,
be honest
probably
with you.
fine,
'Cause
but, like-
so there's another reason why I think I like Wayne, and
it's not that I, like, don't like Wayne,
It's only
but
it's a
that's not my
bias.
thing.
It's biased based on. So I saw an interview with him recently, right? And some guy does. I guess it's some dude does a mental health podcast, right? But not a mental health in the sense of like traditional. He gets And I think it's more for black men's mental health, right? So like this guy, he had Lil Wayne on, and Wayne was talking about when he shot himself, like he shot himself in the chest. You know, this Officer Bob that just passed, the guy that saved his life. Like that interview, it's crazy. I think early on,
and when he's going to that lacks consistency on Wayne's part in a way. You know?
Well, the story was like
because he's like, oh, I don't have any problem with the police. And there's a lot of his music that
people,
not necessarily have the same.
That's a lot
energy.
of.
No, not exactly.
But that story when he tells it, like there's so much there's a lot of humility in him when he speaks about it, right?
Well, yeah, you shot yourself. You have to
obviously
feel
so, but like
damn Cheddar Bob.
But there was different. Cheddar Bob was like, "Wanna fuck with us? Fuck with us, yeah."
I don't know how much different it was.
Like Cheddar Bob when he shot himself.
Like shooting yourself in the foot does a little bit a little bit more sense than shooting yourself in the chest.
Well, the circumstances of why he did it was like that's why I would say watch it. It's just a good a glimpse into a little bit about Lil Wayne. But I say that to just say that interview and things like that. Like when I compare personalities of these two, like I feel like one's more genuine than the other. You get what I'm saying? I feel like
Depends. I mean, you don't really get a whole lot of Eminem personality outside of his music.
But when he tries to display it, it's not there.
I mean, did you watch the hot boxing with Eminem?
He smoked?
No, he did. He did the.
I'm sorry, hot boxing.
I'm thinking.
I'm thinking the smoke box with Be Real.
And it's like, to some degree, I mean, obviously, like there's a certain persona. Eminem, arguably, obviously, after he stopped doing drugs, he fell off.
Sammy's gonna love this conversation if he still watches.
That's where, like, arguably things changed for him. He stopped doing drugs. He stopped dyeing his hair, and he became a different kind of guy. But like,
I just and also my problem with Eminem, and that maybe you know where I stand with him. I don't feel like he's ever really helped cultivate anybody as a talent. He's not really giving to the culture to me, in my opinion.
And here's the thing: I'm not trying.
And I believe me, I don't have
a cape on for either of them.
I by no means am somebody who knows. He may contribute. I don't know, but as from the outside looking in, it doesn't look like he contributes a lot to the sport or the genre.
I don't have a cape on for either of them. My point is that specifically.
Would you have one?
Both of them.
Okay, and then my question to you was: is there somebody you would tend to have a cape on more, or at least have one reserved for more than the other?
Between them two?
Yeah. Like, I don't have the cape on, but it's over there if I want to put it on.
Outside of like Marshall Mathers 2, because he did that LP 2.
When was that one? That was recent?
Yeah.
That was a terrible one, right? Wasn't it?
Nah, I mean, I don't know. Like,
was it that since we've had the pod?
No, I think it was before.
Okay, then I'm wrong.
Because it was like he had the track where he like made amends with his mom on it or some shit like that.
Okay.
Outside of that one, I haven't listened to too much recent stuff. But same thing with Wayne. Like Carter 4, Carter 5, I listened to each of them one time and I was like, I'm done with these things. I'm not listening to them anymore. It's crap. So honestly, like both of them are kind of in the same regard to me at this point. Like I'll go back and listen to their old shit. Both of them. Like I fuck with Marshall Mathers LP, Slim Shady LP, Infinite, all that shit. Like even up to the Eminem show, right? Wayne, same thing. Carter 2 and Carter 3 is like his peak.
I'll even shoot M. Bale with Relapse and Recovery. Those were fun albums to me.
Yeah. And that was arguably on like
Relapse is really fun. It's like he was definitely on drugs.
Arguably, arguably that's where like things started to change for the worse for him.
Yeah.
Right. Both of them, I'll respect like their old contributions, and I don't expect much from either of their new stuff.
And is there one that you're likely to be more?
No, not really.
No. So you hear Eminem album coming out and Wayne album coming out on the same day. Which one would you?
I listen to them both, but I'm not expecting much from either of them
at all. Okay, who do you think would deliver better? Would have a better chance of delivering at this point? Probably Wayne. Be honest.
Well, why do you say that?
Resources. I think.
Yeah, but you have arguably one of the best producers ever in Eminem's corner still to this day. There's like resources is not an argument for me.
I just don't feel like he has it in him.
And they're both artists that I'm not necessarily checking for their new shit.
They both have two arguably classic albums, right? So Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers, Carter 2, Carter 3. Mm-hmm. Do you see them in the same veins? Obviously, Slim Shady LP had more impact than, and it was years before, 98.
Yeah.
More impact on
Before the 04,
because
05
it was such,
offering.
it was like a shock value.
And I think 04, 03 is when Carter 1 came out. So I'm thinking like 06 maybe is Carter 2. So it's a decade between them.
Obviously, but there's the M was a shock value rapper. You never heard anybody like this before, really.
But Wayne is also shock value. Like he says a lot
in
of
the way of, and like
it's a different level, but yeah,
I find it more lyrically shock value. M just really was good at being. We had never heard him before, right? And I don't want to take away from who he was in those years. Eminem impactfully was arguably one of the most impactful rappers.
Again, I mean, you have like the co-signers that were very quintessential, like Dre in your corner.
But okay, my only thing is things change, right? And so do opinions.
Of course, and that's why
new information.
That's why I'm holding them in the same vein right now, because I'm like, all right, they both had they're both arguably.
Do you root for one more than the other? And I don't know why we're comparing Wayne and Eminem.
I brought up the Eminem comparison because again, like they both had their moment in the sun. They're both arguably greatest of all time in like the top 10, top 15, whatever you want to put them in. And they both had a meteoric rise and they both had a meteoric drop to me. So I bring it up because you have a consistent Eminem hate.
Well, obviously.
and the last couple projects from Wayne left a lot to be desired for me, especially considering what you would put as his best albums. So to me, they have a lot of similarities in their careers as far as peak and trough. Was at the bottom.
So apparently he's been on a few songs. So he's on. He's on a good few things. He's on some Conway shit. He's on a Chris Brown song. Like there's some. Wayne is honestly.
And I've heard some of the more. And I haven't been impressed by them.
To me, Wayne is still able to get there, but not as consistent at a consistent clip as he once did. Eminem to me still can't find himself. And that's probably my biggest thing. He's not able to find.
And I will go back to my argument that how could you say that if you don't really like give his music
because
a chance to be heard?
Because I'll hear a verse. I'll hear the verse the first
But if you put him on a Griselda track, you're talking about Griselda, who's now like the modern day like fucking top lyric guys, right? Like
for the most part.
Obviously, there's other lyricists, but I'm saying like as far as like newer acts and running things as far as like a group goes. They had the more recent run has been theirs.
Yeah. So I would argue that Griselda as a team is probably not as cohesive as they once were.
Yeah. I mean, but again, like that
happens.
Whatever. But so you put somebody else on there. It's like if you put the best lyricist on a track and then you put somebody who used to be a good lyricist on the track, and now you're like, I don't really need him on this song.
Feel like him is just like
it's like when you put Jay and Nas on a verse together. They don't make the best music together, but they're pretty fucking good.
I'm not gonna even try to like sugarcoat it or anything. I just don't really care for Eminem anymore.
Well, that's all I was looking for you to say. Like there's a clear bias,
but
in the way away from
that doesn't take from the statement that I'm saying that I would probably be more inclined to be more I don't know about excited, but intrigued to if you're like, okay, these two are coming out, you got to be intrigued about one or the other. I'd be more intrigued about a Lil Wayne album, probably because some of the features, who's going to be on it, who's going to produce on it. Like he has some of the things some of the more ingredients that I enjoy.
A decade ago, this is true. Today, it's not true for me.
I'm not saying to what degree. I'm just saying more so than ever.
I guess.
That's all I'm saying.
I guess. I don't know.
We got sneakers, man. That was a long conversation. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean,
listen, there's a lot of music is so subjective that Adam or mine, our opinions aren't necessarily one or the other isn't right. It's just a matter of mine is. No, I'm just playing. No, it's all subjective depending on what kind of rapper you like, what kind of music you like to hear. To me, it just seems like the subject matter of Eminem's has fallen to the wayside of syllables.
They were both artists that I looked for at some point in their careers. Now they're both artists that I can't get excited about a project.
I just like what Wayne seems to do on his spare time. He's a fucking skateboarder. Like, dude, how'd you become a skateboarder just randomly? Like, It's kind of cool, man. You got to be admitted to it.
He's been skateboarding since Carter 2.
Tony Hawk
has been doing it for a long time.
Last story. We get off that. We unpacked it enough. Before we get to sneakers, I was watching a clip on Reels or something, and somebody had Tony Hawk on the podcast, and they were like, how much did you make off that video game? Like, how much? They looked at him straight face. He's like, all right, I'll give you this. He's like, I had gotten a call from the guy at what's the Neversoft, is it, or what's the
Ubisoft,
something, whatever it is, that company, the software company that helped develop the game. Right. The guy that was overseeing the project, and he said, listen, we're gonna do the other one. We're gonna do another one, right? I don't know, 4 or whatever, but the other 3 are still in the top 10 of sales. Actually, one of which is reached classic, right, where they sell for cheaper but in higher volume. Yeah. That's how crazy it's gotten. He's like, I don't know what you expect, but things are way bigger.
I'm doing all right.
things are way bigger than you thought. And he passed them a check for $3 million.
Jesus.
Dude, Tony Hawk is legend. If you don't know who, like, obviously, it's something that if you don't really know the culture a little bit, you're not going to know. Right. If you don't have a kid that played it, or if you weren't a kid that played the game, or weren't a skateboarder, you wouldn't really know. But
like, even playing the game, you wouldn't know that he was like such a top tier.
Right. It's just he's legend because he did so many groundbreaking things. Yeah. But in a specific segment of culture, Tony Hawk is a fucking legend.
He's the original Rob Dyrdek.
Man, crazy. And Rob is a whole nother animal of fucking entrepreneur. I promise you, man, like, I want to get to that level of just operating on that.
Who wouldn't want to be there?
Well, I just mean in terms of his, the frequency at which he operates. He seems very positive. He's like, I don't know.
And he just does what he wants to do.
This is what Rob Dyrdek sounds like. He's like, I don't know what we're going to get doing today. He's real country, Ohio, but he's like, he's really light, so he'll be...
He's got the McConaughey from the 80s.
I woke up and I told my wife, I wanted to be the best entrepreneur I ever did. And you know what? We did it, and we did it so well that, let me tell you, DC, his and that was a terrible Rob Dyrdek impersonation. I'm hoping that a lot of you left already.
Don't hope for that. We want them here. No, he's. Yeah, I mean, Rob. The dope thing about Rob Dyrdek is that, of course, the dope thing about Rob Dyrdek is he just does things the way he wants to do them, and like he takes the projects on that he wants, and he does what he wants to do.
He has that podcast. I think I told you about it.
Yeah.
Such a machine in the way that he operates, and very. I aspire to be able to see things, imperfections in my operations, like my own operations, and being able to rectify and steer the ship in a better course than what it is that my trajectory is going because of how I'm operating at that point. Like, if there's something I need to do differently, I want to be able to fucking identify.
Well, so we watch game tape,
and switch it, right? Yeah. Like, instantly. Oh, if I do this, because he talks about like waking up at even just a half hour or hour earlier a day. That's 7 hours a week more that you get time to do things.
Looking at things from a macro perspective.
Very, and I just want to be able to say that, all right, if I were to do that, if I were to wake up this early to do something, I can get this done. That means at this point in the day, I'll be done enough to get this created, or I can do work on this, or we can do, we can work on podcasts. I just want to become more efficient, a human being, and that kind of person is inspiring. It's difficult to implement like a lot of those changes in your life.
For sure.
Everything is it's just so difficult. I think I cannot stop going to the gym. If I stop going to the gym for an extended period of time, it is very difficult to start up again. It is.
Well, this whole breathing issue has pissed me off more than anything.
I can imagine. That in itself is making you probably think, well, what can I do to change how I operate to make this?
And I've been changing. My whole year has been about changing and improving myself, and I was fucking hampered by this shit.
But that's the thing. You never know, right? Vivi told me she wanted to have a really good day the other day. She got doored. I went to this block party to eat yesterday, and I stepped off a curb and I twist my ankle. Right? Life is going to throw you different monkey wrenches, different, varying in sizes. Some of them are gonna knock you the fuck out.
I like
some
those
of them,
ones.
but some of them are more avoidable than others, and I just want to become more of a.
You gotta learn how to pick up that monkey wrench and use it to fix your life.
You know what I want to do is I want to become more proficient in efficiency.
Lemons and lemonade is what I mean.
Yeah, I know. But no, the idea is to become more proficient in efficiency. You get what I'm saying? Like I want to streamline my life. I can never be a minimalist. I have way too many sneakers and hats. That alone is
There's too many things that I want.
There's boxes of basketball cards just laying around my house.
Got a
not
jar
in a
on top of
hoard,
my
not
fridge.
in a hoarder way.
Got a jar on
but
top of my fridge that I keep money in. I'd like to put more in that jar.
But no, I just want to be more of a. I want to streamline things. I don't want like. I honestly can't get myself to do it often, but I'd be trying to go into my shirts and purge like, oh, this doesn't throw. But I don't want to throw away. I feel bad throwing away, so I want to donate. But then I put a donation bag together that never gets to the donation box.
I feel you. I was doing mad laundry yesterday and I'm putting shit up. I'm like, man, I got a lot of shirts that I don't wear most of them.
Gotta donate stuff.
But on the same quick note about Tony Hawk, since I got my PS5, I'm like trying to figure out, what exciting games are coming out. They're putting out a new Fight Night soon. I was like, cool, because it's like a boxing game. I think it'd be dope. And then, remember Bully?
Yeah.
They're talking about putting out a new rendition of that. So I was like, all right, cool, man.
Well, it's good to know that they got these games coming out.
Yeah, keep myself entertained.
Keep yourself entertained.
All right, we're giving you enough for a two-man show today. So we will get these sneakers in, and then we will move on, I guess. What you rocking?
Fire Red Force.
Well, you got Fire Red Force and you got a Bears hat on. Those colors don't go together.
Well, I never seen a blue duck before. No, okay. So as I've stated, I've kind of twisted my ankle. So I didn't have any white socks, right, which already hinders me in the shoes I could wear, right. So I put on. I was trying to find the shoe that was gonna support my ankle as best as possible. Tried a few different pairs on. Not gonna lie, there's a few pairs of shoes just chilling in the room right now on the floor.
Happens. Always end up with an accumulation downstairs.
I knew I wanted to wear this hat, right?
If I wasn't Jamaican, why would I wear this hat?
But I said, fuck it, man. I don't care. My ankle hurts. It doesn't really hurt as much as it's just like tender. So
those are the shoes that did it for you.
Well, and the congruence with the socks.
Okay. All right. Word. I have these more up tempos.
Could they get any more up tempo?
Yeah. All right, just you touching too many buttons. They actually we talked about it a little bit earlier, but they have the slides of these coming out.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
I think I fuck with them a little bit.
And especially since I'm retiring slides for the rest of the summer.
Oh, I mean, it's your experience, not mine. But yeah, I might look into them. I'm a fan of this silhouette. So most colors I've seen, other than like those Volt Greens they're super green, man. I just have a hard time with them. But yeah, I do fuck with them. So
no doubt.
Thought I'd throw them on today. But all right, man, it's been episode number 148 for Yo Ass, and
they couldn't possibly fucking know, dog.
Yeah, couldn't possibly know. We appreciate you all tuning in. If you did indeed tune in, and especially if you got to this point in the show, we talked a lot about a lot of things. We enjoyed putting on the show, so hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it. And next week I believe we'll have Dave back, but it's always a mystery, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But until number 149, man.
See ya. I love you.
That's your new sign-off line?
I don't know, maybe.